So I suggest we can start maybe. Welcome everyone. I see that there is people from Nigeria, but I also see that there is some people from Ghana in this conversation, which is quite interesting. So greetings to all of the Nigerians and Ghanaians in this conversation. So we wanted with Richard to introduce you on some basic technical aspects of the lightning protection system and on what Indelec is providing. So as a short introduction, you need to know that Indelec has been working in the lightning protection with around the world. So we work with many partners around the world. We also have subsidiary. We have one in Brazil, another in India, one in Vietnam. For the western part of Africa, depending on the country, but we work mainly with distributors. As you probably know, in Nigeria, we have one distributor, only one, who is Discrete Technology. Why we have one? It's because we have been working with them for a long time, but also because you have a lot of fake products in your market, bad products. So working with one person, we ensure the quality of the product in the market. Please, Oladele, can you switch off your mic, please? Thank you. So we have more than 60 years experience. The manufacture are exported in all continents. 75% of the product we manufacture are distributed abroad. So please, Oladele, can you switch off your mic or I'm going to. Okay, thank you very much. Perfect. So what I was saying is. So Indelec has full capabilities. We do first, when you do a lightning protection system, you need to do a survey. It's like in many fields, you need to do a survey based on the international standard, but also on the NFC 17102 standard. This lightning risk assessment, concretely, you go on site based on the certain expertise, you do a risk analysis. What are the risks of getting a lightning on the structure? You do a technical survey. So during this survey, you design the lightning protection system. You find where you put the lightning arrestor exactly, if you need only one or several, what size of lightning arrestor, if it's a small one like TS10 Prevectron, or if it's a S60, the biggest model, and you settle. So you make also the usual bill of quantities, so you know exactly what you are going to use to fix it, etc. But you also consider the indirect lightning protection system, which is surge protection device. You always need to keep in mind that in the standards, it is mandatory to put a lightning indirect lightning protection system with a direct lightning protection system. Concretely, when you put a lightning arrestor, Prevectron, you have to put a surge protection device on the general panel as well. You have to put both of them. It's mandatory in the standard. You do equipotential bonding, etc., in the technical survey. So this is a document that is about 20, sometimes even more, 200 pages, depending on the site. But you check each specificity of the site. An oil and gas site requires another kind of technical specification than a telecom site, than a real estate site, etc. So let me explain you how it works lightning. I think it's very important for you to understand how it works lightning so you understand how to prevent from it. So basically here, let's say it's a picture of Lagos, or Lagos is flat and you don't have a mountain in Lagos, but you have basically the ground where you have people living, and you have a cloud reaching several kilometers high. It's a certain cloud. You know, you have many kind of clouds, but this cloud is called cumulonimbus. And because of the big size of this cloud, on the top of the cloud, you have an extreme cold temperature. It's reached like -50, -70 degrees. You know, sometimes when you take a flight, you can even see on the windows that there is some ice. Even if you are in the middle of, even if you are above Niger or above Chad, where it's extremely hot, you still have ice, because when you are high, you have this cold temperature. So let's say we are in Lagos, the ground, let's say it's 32 degrees. The down of the cloud is about -10 degrees, and the top of the cloud is -50. So completely the difference of temperature between the top of the cloud and the floor, the ground, is about 80 degrees. This creates ascending currents. So you have wind entering in the cloud. You can see on the floor, the wind entering in the cloud and going up. So it's a strong ascending current going through the cloud. But what this wind carries, it carries all of the particles in the air, such as the CO2, etc., all of the pollution, etc., the water. So everything enters in. And basics of talking about basics of physics and chemistry, you have an atom and an electron. So you have the electron around the atom. One is charged, is positively charged, the other is negative. So what happened is during the strong ascending current, the electron and the atoms separate from each other. So this means that the down on the cloud concretely change its electrical charge, and the top of the cloud also. So there is an electrical charge partition. So concretely here you have the cloud. On the top of the cloud, you can see that you have a huge concentration of positive charges, and on the down of the clouds, you have a negative charges concentration. This creates lightning strike. You know, the clouds, the positive and the negatives are always attracted to each other. So you need to know that we say that usually the research found out that 70% of the lightning discharge were within clouds. You can see sometimes lightning discharge within a cloud. And then after you have the remaining that is going from the down of the cloud to the floor. So concretely here you have the, you know, we all live in an ambient electrical field. We have electricity around us, and but we cannot see it, of course. When you have a fair weather, the ionosphere is positive and the ground is negative, everything is fine. But when you have a thunderstorm cell, the top of the cloud, like I said, is positive, the down is negative, and the floor is changing. It's becoming positive. So you have a lightning strike between within the cloud, but also from the cloud to the ground. Let's check the picture down when you see all of these lines, and you can even see a church. So it could be a mosque, could be a building, oil and gas plants, etc. You can see that when on the top of the tallest structure, because of the shape, but also because of the distance between the top of the structure and the cloud, the distance is reduced. You can see that there is an electrical charge concentration. The electrical field concentration is increasing, and it's an important increase. This increase creates the ionization. The ionization looks like that. So currently on the top of the cloud, if our eyes will be sharp enough, you will be able to see this in the top of the cloud because of the electrical field concentration. Of course, you are not able to see it because it's too fast. but with the camera we can see it. So we took one picture of it. This is a ionization done in a laboratory, but it also happened outside. So on the top of the Thales structure, you have this ionization. On the other hand, you have what we call a downward leader. So it's the usual lightning you can see. You can see on this video, the downward leader is going down and trying to connect somewhere. And once it found a point of connection, it's connecting only at one point. So concretely, you have this lightning coming down. And on the top of that, you have another going up with the ionization. It's what we call the upward leader. So here you see we have two buildings with 5 pictures taken at a different time. You have the downward leader coming down. You see it's trying to connect somewhere. And on the top of these two buildings, you have upward streamers. You see on the left, on the building on the left, there is no upward streamer on the first picture, but there is already one on the second building. Second picture, the one on the second building is taller, etc., etc. And you can see that there is a competition between these two upward streamers. And the one on the right is connecting and the other disappears. So concretely, this is a natural phenomenon. Keep it in mind that it's a natural phenomenon. It will always happen whether you have a lightning arrestor or not. This happens. And this is what creates damages. So the upward streamer can be created by the corner of a building. It can be created by a tree. It can be created by everything. It can even be created by a human. It can even appear on the top of your head. And then the lightning goes on your head. And this is a natural phenomenon. So the lightning arrestor, the Prevectron, does exactly the same. But we do what we call an active system. So the active system is the active system is creating its own upward streamer. So what we do, the lightning arrestor, the Prevectron, calculates the environment, and it knows that at the exact time, it knows exactly the exact time where it should create an upward streamer. It creates this upward streamer to always win this competition. Basically, if you don't have this arrestor, the lightning can strike anywhere. It can even strike at 10 meters from a bad product, from a fake product, because the fake product is not calculating these things. And that is why it's very important to have, it's one of the reasons why it's important to have a genuine product. Let me go to the next, some example. Lightning facts. Well, I'm not going to on this because for you in Nigeria, you know that lightning is very serious. So basically, in the standard and the design of the lightning protection system, with the Prevectron, you have only one arrestor on the top, and one or several, depending on the size of the building. And you always, I insist, always have 2 down conductors and 2 earth pits with 2 earthing. The earthing should be under 10 ohms, and the clamps on the down conductor should be 3 clamps per meter, one after every 33 centimeters. I'm just talking about standard. I'm not talking about what you can see in fact. So I'm passing quickly on this. Let me show you how it works in real condition. It's quite rare to have a picture of this. Sorry, yeah. So this is in Costa Rica. It's an hospital, so it's a very sensitive place. You get a lightning strike, people can die if the machine goes off. Some people survive with machine in hospital, as you know. So if the machine goes off, people die instantly. We put the lightning arrestor in the middle. You can see the mast is 5 meters mast. Always never put a lightning arrestor at. You have to put an arrestor at least at 2 meters above the tallest structure within its radius of protection. So this mast here is 5 meters because when you put 5 meters, you really have a large radius of protection. You can see that the lightning came on it. It not only came on it because you saw the process was extremely fast, but we actually created an upward streamer. The lightning arrestor creating an upward streamer to make sure that it goes on it. But with your eyes, you cannot see it. Everyone was fine. Everything went well in this facility. This is another example in USA in a stadium. So here, what is interesting, but you can see on the lightning arrestor is there is nothing above the lightning arrestor, nothing. We made sure that it goes on this one by creating the upward streamer at the right time. But we also put surge protection device with the proper earthing to make sure that we protect these lights and we protect the screen. This screen is worth 100,000 USD, you know, so it was very important for the client to protect it. And everyone was safe also in this case. So let me go for the next up. Sorry, we just have some. I need to go slow. So how it is built. Let me show you. So you have a full copper rod in the middle. This is thin copper. It's extremely sharp. You know, if you add the product in your hands before, you can even cut yourself with the product. We play with the shape of the product to make sure that it's extremely sharp. The sharpest it is, the most efficient it is to create an upward streamer. You have then the module around. So the module calculates. So you have electronics inside. So you have continuity with the rod, you can see. And the modules analyze the environment. They analyze the environment to make sure that they create the upward streamer at the right time. If you create an upward streamer too early, then you don't have enough energy to create an upward streamer later. If you create it too late, by definition, it's too late. So the lightning strike already hit someone else or something else. Here you have a strong stainless steel protection. This stainless steel is the best grade of stainless steel in order to be efficient in acidic environments. Why? It's because, as you know, in Nigeria, probably some of you worked in oil and gas sites. The environment is very acid, is very toxic sometimes, and it can affect these modules. They can be completely eaten by the acid. So putting this stainless steel ensure longevity of the product, making sure that this product can last for like 20 years, 30 years, etc. You can see that I'm talking about Prevetron 3 and not Prevetron 2 since the beginning. It's because the Prevetron 2 does not exist anymore. We were the manufacturer of it, and we stopped the production of it more than 6 years ago. So right now, every Prevetron 2 you can find in the market is a fake product, and usually we give a guarantee on the Prevetron a guarantee of 5 years. So on the Prevetron 2, we are giving also a guarantee of 5 years, but since we stopped to produce them in 2015, all of them now, because they are in 2021, all of them now are not under warranty anymore. So that is why we recommend to change all of them by Prevetron 3. Let me show you how the Prevetron 3 is working. So you see here, you have two down conductors. You have the lightning arrestor on the top of the building. You have the structure, the copper rod, and down you have the down electrodes. You know, these down electrodes are very, very useful to catch the electrical ambient field in order to charge the batteries of the module. And once the batteries are charged, it analyzes the environment to make sure that it creates an upward streamer at the right time. So you can see on the top, you have these small electrodes. These small electrodes will create a discharge to the main rod. And this discharge is going to go into the sky. at exactly the right time. I stopped just here a bit. As you know, the down of the cloud is charged negatively, and the proton is charged, ambient field around the proton is charged positively. So here we have the electrical ambient field, and here the time. You will see its progression. So you can see that we use the down electrodes to charge the module, and we analyze the environment. And you can see that the electrical field, the ambient electrical field, is increasing. So now the downward leader is coming, but we don't know where it's going to hit. We don't know if it's going to hit our arrestor, or if it's going to hit the building or the neighbor, etc. And you can see that now the lightning arrestor, the proton, is not creating an upward streamer now. Yet there is a downward leader. It's not creating it because it's too early, because it's going to create an upward streamer of 60 meters, around 60 meters high. But now the downward leader, it's probably at 1 kilometer. So it's too early. It's not creating the upward streamer at that time. It's waiting. Now we reach a certain level, like a very sensitive level of electrical ambient field, meaning that the downward leader is getting closer, and closer. So the Optimax technology is cleaning the positive charge on the top of the Provetron. This was not existing in the Provetron 2. It's a new technology. So you see now we have really reached a level that is not sustainable anymore. And the lightning arrestors knows that right now it's the perfect time to create an upward streamer. And you see all of these electrodes down here creates a discharge to the main rod, connecting all to the main rod, and the main rod is going to create a stronger upward streamer to try to connect. You can see here, you see the upward streamer being created, and here it's going. It's going to catch the lightning within its radius. So concretely, we don't say to the lightning discharge, come to my building. No, not at all. We create an upward streamer that is able to catch any lightning coming within a certain radius of protection. And usually we use a radius of protection that is exactly the same size than the building. So, and the people really understand. Let's talk about the banks in Nigeria. Usually they buy S40, TS25 because it matches the size of their building. This is the main reason. So you see, we create the connection, and now the electrical ambient field drops, and it goes even lower than before. So what is important to see in this video is that this system totally control the environment and make sure that it creates the upward streamer at the right time. If you have a product that always creates lightning strike, like a pulsar, some people talk about pulsars, they say this is a pulsar technology. It is not a pulsar technology, because the pulsar technology will create a discharge every 2 or 10 seconds. This is not the technology of the Provetron. The Provetron creates only one discharge. If a downward leader is coming. If there is no downward leader, it will never create an upward streamer. That is why also the product lasts for longer, because the product works only when it's necessary, not always. That is why in France, and I'm sure in Nigeria, some people install Provetron like 20, 25 years ago, and it's still working. Recently, I was in Dakar, in Senegal. I went to the parliament, not to politics, it's not my thing, but I went to check the lightning arrestor there with the distributor in Senegal, and the distributor installed the lightning arrestor on the parliament of Senegal about 20 years ago. Yeah. And we checked the counter, and they received 76 lightning strikes on the facility. 76. And it is still working. The lightning arrestor is still working. The only issue is it was badly maintained, and that is why I think it's something we should all focus on the maintenance. I think Aloysius, the representative of Discrete Technology, is going to give you some inputs on this, on the maintenance. It's a field that Discrete Technology has been working on quite a lot for the past 20 years. So here another example. For us, we use copper for the lightning rod. So you can see on the left, it's copper. The lightning rod, after receiving a discharge, it's still okay. But all of these fake products you can find in the Nigerian market, they usually use stainless steel, mainly because it's cheaper. And you can see that after one lightning strike, but the stainless steel already lost like 2 centimeters. So imagine after 10 lightning strike, but there is no lightning rod anymore. It completely melts. So it's a very dangerous product. It's already passed the marking, the inspection. You have, as per the standard, to make an inspection every 1 to 2 years with the tester, etc. We also have another system that is, we are all certified, Veritas, UL certified, etc. And we have different sites. I wanted to show you something. Sorry. Is it here? No, it's here. Yeah, so we recently launched the Indelec Connect product. The Indelec Connect product is very, very interesting. Here you have a map of all of the Connect that has been installed recently. So concretely, we started this project end of last March, and we have started to install them. You can monitor your lightning arrestor online directly to see if it got a lightning strike. So you can see there is different sites here in the world. Let's go in France because it was a bit faster to install it in France since it's just next to the factory. Let's go here. Here you see Lyon, which is a city in France, University, Claude Bernard, Rockefeller, Chimney. You have the lightning arrestor here, serial number. And you have the number of lightning strike, 0, because it's a brand new installation, and it was not the season of lightning now. So basically, what you can do as an engineer, installer, or depend what you want to do, but who you are and what you want to do. But what is interesting, especially in Nigeria, where transport is expensive, where safety is an issue, it can be very interesting to install Connect module, because the Prevectron Connect, so it has a module inside. It looks like that concretely. It looks like that, but you don't have the remote anymore. It's connected to the 2G network. So it's a plug and play system working with the 2G system, very easy to install. 2G, why 2G? Because it's almost everywhere, 2G. So you don't have any problem. You don't need to pay every month for anything. Indelec is covering all of the cost of the communication. And it checks the module remotely to see if you got a lightning strike or not. Also, if the product has been stolen, but you can see that it has been stolen or not. So concretely, let's say you are in Abuja, you install something in Kano, but you know from your office in Abuja that in Kano, you got a lightning strike. So you need to have the technical team to check the installation to make sure that everything is working. Same example, you are in Lagos, you can check an installation in Port Harcourt. Same if you are in Accra in Ghana, you can check all of this installation. So once you make your installation, you create an online profile on Intelect Connect website, and you put you create your profile. Once your profile is done, you create the profile of your unit. You put the serial number, you put the name of the place. So let's say if it's Toyota shop in Ikeja, for example, you put Toyota shop Ikeja. And if there is two lightning arrestor, you put lightning arrestor 1, lightning arrestor 2. You name them. You put like 1 north, 2 south, and you see that if they get a lightning strike or not. We have been in contact with several people in Nigeria recently. There is a shipment that's been sent in Nigeria for Connect. So we are we are waiting for the people to install the product and to activate it. Once it will be activated, you will have the first lightning arrestor report in Nigeria settle here. And we hope soon in Ghana. As you need to know, and I want to insist on these things and in the presentation to end my speech, is the fact that when you make an installation, make sure that you make a complete survey that the installation is done properly with surge protection device. The second point is make sure that you source the right product, a genuine product. And how can you be sure it's a genuine product? You have two options. The first option is obviously there is only Prevectron 3 who are genuine right now. All of the Prevectron 2 you find on the market are fake, and I insist on that. And the second point is if you want a genuine product, Discrete Technology always have 200 units in stock, always. So you don't even need to wait a long time to have a product, etc. Everything is there. You have the contact. You can contact Aloysius, Richard in Nigeria, or Mayowa in Ghana, and you will have your genuine product automatically. They have a large range of products. And after, also what you need to know, and I also want to insist on it in this presentation, is you need to maintain your installation. You need to do the maintenance. I know sometimes you have different profiles. Some of you are electrical contractor. You are an electrical contractor, you will install something, your client will tell you thank you, and he will never do the maintenance. He will never call you back for the maintenance. It can be a bit a problem for you, I understand. That is why I recommend you to push a bit to propose the Intelect Connect product, because when you have the Intelect product, from your office, you can see your client got a lightning strike. So you call your client, you tell him, you got a lightning strike, we need to check the installation. You can tell him without you going on site, getting an authorization to check the units, etc. You can check everything from your computer. It makes things way easier for you. You can even make an official report. You can issue an official report online showing that it got a lightning strike. So you can make an official letter to your client saying, you got a lightning strike. We need to ensure the site is still safe. And for that, we need to cross-check. I think I'm going to let Aloysius talk about what Discrete provides and the maintenance points. Go ahead, Aloysius. Hello? We can't hear you, Aloysius. Richard? Okay. Oh, I see we don't have Aloysius and Richard. So to not wait for them for too long, I suggest we check. I respond to some question now. So. how does lightning event counter work? What are the conditions that can make lightning event counter not be effective? So how does it work? The lightning event counter is a question from Tunde Oyebamiji. Sorry if I don't pronounce your last name well. I really apologize to everyone before. So a question from Tunde. The lightning counter, how it works, it's supposed to be fixed on the down conductor. When you have a lightning strike, the current is going to pass through the down conductor. And when it passes through the down conductor, you have the counter with analyzing the electrical concentration in this down conductor, in this cable concretely. And when there is an impulsion that is above 3000 amps, it counts a lightning strike. So usually it counts a lightning strike between 3000 amps and 100,000 amps, but concretely it always counts above 100,000 amps. It's just that in terms of standard we cannot say we count above 100,000, but we do. So it counts just this. If what are the conditions that can make lightning event counter not be effective, there is two conditions. But one condition, I would say, if you have a lightning strike that is under 3000 amps, it won't count. But it is scientifically almost impossible you have a lightning strike under 3000 amps. So in your case, I think you asked me this question because you have a client who lost probably a product, something like that, and he told you, I got lightning strike on the arrestor, and he's complaining about it. So if you don't have a lightning strike with showing on the counter, chances are extremely high, I would say 99%, even more, that there were no lightning strike. That's the problem that happened in this facility is from something else. Probably earthings, probably surge protection, so probably something else connected to electrical work. Can you share this video with us at the end of the session? Richard will do it for you. A4, our organization has a concern on this indirect solution. Despite huge investment on this problem by your OEM representative, we still experience damage due to lightning incidents. And my management is beginning to ask questions. They are gradually losing confidence on what this solution can offer. How do I convince them? How you can convince them is first, I think you need, it's very difficult for me to tell you what happened in your facilities, but in my presentation, I insisted on three things, which is first, making a survey, checking what is happening exactly on your facility. It's not been done properly. Maybe the installation was done properly, but someone else came and put something next to the lightning arrestor. This can happen sometimes. Sometimes I see we have a lightning arrestor, everything is fine, and then someone put an AC system at 20 centimeters from the lightning arrestor. So when there is a lightning strike, the AC system is affected. But every cable connected to the AC system will conduct the currents. So if you have your computer plugged on the same board, using the same distribution board than the AC system, your computer will burn as well. Afford to contact Discrete Technology in order to make a complete survey on the installation to exactly see what happened, to understand what exactly happened on this incident. And also, I insisted on another thing, which is a surge protection device. Make sure that there is surge protection device in each distribution board. And last point, make sure the maintenance is done. So Uchenna A4, please contact Discrete on this, Aloysius and Richard, they will give you the solution. It will be a solution. They can even do a survey on pictures very quickly. They will be able to identify this problem. Pius, or preferably the slide being used will be by Richard. Nathaniel, can you kindly share this video with us? How does on properly maintain a lightning arrestor? So there is a question from Zainab. Zainab, to maintain a lightning arrestor, there is several things. First, every 2 years, you need to make, every year, sorry, you need to make an inspection on the complete installation. Okay, so a visual inspection, you check if all of the clamps are here, if nobody put something on the lightning arrestor. You need to make sure that the surge protection devices are still working. You need to make a test of the lightning arrestor with a tester. So to maintain, or you have a technical team who has the knowledge of the maintenance, or you can also ask Discrete Technologies. They have this maintenance, they have all of the procedure to maintain a lightning arrestor. I insist on one thing, maintaining a lightning arrestor. I will add one word on this, maintaining a lightning arrestor system. It's not only the lightning arrestor, the earthing also has to be good. The down conductor, etc.
Okay, Mr. Benjamin.
Yes, Aloysius.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Aloysius, the CEO of Discrete. I would like to respond to some of these questions, especially in the area of installations and then probably not getting the best service from the product. I just felt some of the installers are not following the best practices during the installation by using wrong materials, maybe not properly doing a proper survey before they proceed for installation. And then a lot of times they compromise the quality of the procedure and the standard that is expected. Most of them don't follow the required standard during the installation. They do a lot of quick service by not following the right specifications that are supposed to be followed. And a proper survey most times are not also carried out, because if you do a proper survey and then you do your risk analysis, you'll be able to spec the right model, the right materials, and then you'll be able to get a proper solution at the end of the day. And we urge them to most times try as much as possible to make sure the vendors get the right product and quality and original product. With that, they will be able to have a safe and very quality installation in their premises. So I will still, as we proceed, we'll still respond to some other questions as they come in.
Yes, I would like to add to highlight one thing that Aloysius said, is the fact that sometimes you will be like, oh, I install a lightning arrestor and it's not working, etc. But it's mainly just because you have a fake product. And this is something that is very, very, very common in Nigeria. I was in Lagos 3 months ago. I saw many fake products. So I want to ensure you something. To make sure that you don't have a fake product, contact Discrete Technology. They will be able to find if it's a real product or not. With the serial number at Indelec, we know exactly if it's a real product or not. We know where we create, if we made it, etc., etc. The procurement departments of all of your company should know that there is fake product in Nigeria. There is fake product for lightning arrestors, but there is also fake product for fake iPhones. There is fake everything. So they should know that even the lightning arrestors can be fake. It's very, very important that you forget the Prevectron 2. All of the Prevectron 2 are fake, totally fake, and they are dangerous. And this is the reason why it's not working in most of the time. I was just saying there is also bad installation using fake bad products and also using fake products. Sometimes you have the procurement department will say, we are going to go for the cheapest option. How come this Prevectron 2 is cheaper? I buy the 2 is cheaper. But it's not working. It's a dangerous product. It's a fake product he's buying. Sometimes the procurement department will buy a Prevectron 3 and then the installer is installing something else. So I will be like, I don't want to blame anyone, you know, but you have you are in a situation where you have to be suspicious of everyone and everything. I know it's extremely difficult for you. It's really not a comfortable situation. Unfortunately, you have to make sure that the products are right. Afor, you said you are wrong here. These are sites installed and serviced by the OEM representative, and they have not said the installed products are not genuine products. I need a technical response here, and not what you have provided. This is a serious issue to my management, and they want to have a response to this after this meeting. Uchenna Afor, I cannot answer to you in details now because I don't have any elements. I don't have any pictures. I don't have any layouts. I don't know how the installation has been done, etc., etc. What I suggest to you is you contact Aloysius and Richard. They can give you my email. We do a conversation all together, and we find a solution together. I think this will be the best solution in your case. Because I really cannot answer you in this with the lack of information I have on this.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Oui. Yes.
Hello, my name is Richard. I'm the head of business development for Discrete Technology Limited. I would also like to answer some questions. Someone asked Abiodun Adeyeye, can we have the range of Preveton 3 products line? I've attached a catalog to the chat room. You can download it to check the radius coverage. Is it advisable? Etop Eyang, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly. Is it advisable to bond the lightning protection down conductor with the electrical earthing system? This is very wrong practice. You don't bond the electrical equipment to the down conductor because once the arrestor captures the lightning strikes, it's passing it down through the down conductor into the earth pit. So once you bond any electrical equipment into it, it's going to just pass it directly into your equipment and fry it up. So that is a wrong practice. You should stop that. I had Preveton 2 installed in, as Benjamin said, every Preveton 2 you find in the market is fake. You should not even patronize them again. Indelec has stopped the production of Preveton 2 6-7 years ago. So I recently recommended S40 and the consultant on the project declined the approval, saying that the protective volume provided in Indelec brochure do not comply with the requirement of. I think this is wrong, but I would not want to argue this. Indelec has all the necessary compliance and certification for their products worldwide. So we can, if you need further assistance on some certification, on some certificates, we can provide it to you right away. You can mail us. I will share our hot email with you guys, and so that you guys can mail if you have further questions. There is this, I saw a question on, I think the last one. How do we determine the integrity of, that is Desmond? How do we determine the integrity of any arrestor? Every arrestor comes with a security tape at the mouth of the box. That is the first thing you should look out for. So if the security tape is already been tampered with, the arrestor is already, it's not original or is stolen arrestor if it is Preveton 3. But Preveton 2 don't even go near it, is fake. So another stuff to check for is the serial number. The serial number of each arrestor is so unique and is attached to both the carton and underneath the arrestor itself. So if the serial number of the arrestor is different from what is on the carton, that means the arrestor is either stolen one or is fake. Another stuff we should look at is sending the serial number to Indelec yourself to be assured that nobody is tampering with any information. You can copy the serial number of any arrestor you want to purchase, send it to Indelec, and within 24 or 48 hours, they are going to reply you of the integrity of the arrestor. And that is the final step. What are the procedures we can take to confirm the product is not fake? We recently installed one in our facility. To confirm that, you can just climb up, or if you have the carton with you, you can just send Indelec or Discrete the serial number. With that, we can also confirm that the arrestor is original. And lastly, another way to know that the arrestor is still original is every arrestor must come with a certificate, And that certificate is not something, the Prevention 2 always have paper certificate, but in Prevention 3, the certificate must be generated online, and it's only discrete or Indelec that can generate that certificate in the whole of Nigeria. So if you are buying any arrestor, you can ask them that, can I get the certificate from you? So if they can produce the certificate, the arrestor is also fake. Thank you. I think
just one point about what Richard said is the fact that if someone also make a fake serial number that is almost looking like a real one, we are able to see when was the product sold. So if I see that the installation in Nigeria was installed 2 months ago, but in fact the product matching with the serial number was sold to Argentina 1 year ago, of course it's a fake product. I don't see the link between a bank in Lagos and the site in Argentina, and after I can also contact the person in Argentina to know to who is sold the product. So we have a traceability of the product. We know exactly what happened. I want to come to one question, the question of Josie Medugu. I went to a client site to install a radio link, and the Indelec was installed on the rooftop while my radio was on the tower of a height far above the Indelec. How safe is my device, please? I will say that in this case, the Indelec product is not working at all because it's under the height of the tower. So the site is not protected by the lightning at all. So if there is a lightning on the site, it will probably go on your radio. What should happen is your radio should be put a bit down. The lightning arrestor should be on the top of the tower, and you should put a surge protection device on your radio, and this will work.
All right. I also want to answer Florence Nweke. Hello, how frequently should this arrestor be replaced? Any Indelec arrestor, original one, can last as long as 10 to 20 years if it's still working perfectly fine. But there are some regions which which have more lightning strikes, like the eastern part of Nigeria and the southwest, the western part here. We have more lightning due to the forest region we belong to. And if the installation is properly done, that is what can damage your arrestor. Indelec arrestors just don't get damaged like that. Just don't get damaged. So if you do poor installation of the arrestor, you can damage your arrestor yourself. And if proper maintenance is not being carried out on the arrestor, so you don't need to be changing. It's not a consumable product. It's something you can use for a very long period of time, going to like 10 or 20 years. That is why we are giving 5 years warranty on the product. Can your solution totally eliminate the damage effect of lightning strike? Definitely yes. Definitely yes. Definitely yes. There is another question. You talk about the SPD. That is the secondary protective device. That is such. You record that you're asking about the capacity. There are 3 classes of such, class 1, 2, 3. So I will just briefly explain how the classes be determined. So the class 1 belong to the higher KA, which can be 100 or 140 KA, and the class 2 can belong to like 40 to 60 KA. While the class 3 can be like between 10K to 40K, the class 3. So the class 1 will be installed at where you have your at your power room, where you have your main LV panel, while the class 2 can be installed at another maybe sub panel in the building, while the last class will be installed at your maybe critical point, maybe your data center in your office area. So you can install the class 3 on the DB at that place.
So I want. Sorry, Richard. Sorry.
All right, no problem.
Because I just want to all tell you several things. First, be extremely focused on the fake product. Make sure that the product you have is genuine. It's very important. Second, I see we talk somehow about how can I be sure about my installation, what kind of SPD I can use, etc., etc. This definitely it requires electrical knowledge, etc. I see Josie is saying, thanks, Mr. Benjamin. I think DTL should put more efforts on how to counter fake products or substandard installation by having transparency pricing policy. So District Technology has a price list. They can send you their price list. An issue. Of course, you need to know that they buy the product in France in dollars, and they sell the product to you in nairas. And as you can imagine, the nairas is not very stable. So that is why the price can change after month, and also because you experience a lot, and we experience a lot of issues with the custom in Nigeria who are making things very, very difficult to clear the goods. And they have a tendency of increasing the custom value, so they pay more tax, etc., etc. So it increases the price of the product. It's a very unfortunate situation. And about the fake product, be aware that Discrete Technology and Indelec are working closely with several strong lawyers in Nigeria, and we will continue our actions in the coming months to arrest everyone selling fake products with the support of the Nigerian justice and the Nigerian government because of the safety issue created by this fake product on the market. We are not going to leave any space to forgery. So I wanted to insist on that. Please also be aware of one thing. You can totally, fully trust Discrete Technology on our technology. If you have any question on the product, on the installation, on the maintenance, they have every details. They have all of the brochures. They have everything on their facility. You can definitely trust them with that. We work with them with a very, very, very long time. That is why you should be very confident working with them. If you feel uncomfortable about the situation, etc., don't hesitate to put Indelec in copy, and we make a common discussion in order to find a solution to your problem. Each problem has a different solution, especially in lightning protection. That is why we can do tailor-made solution. Do not worry for that. I am sorry to you all. I will have to leave this conversation now.
Benjamin?
Yes?
Yeah, please, before we round up, please, I want to once again thank all the participants for coming up for this training. We want to use this opportunity to say here that all participants to this training will, from now till end of October, have a very good discount on our products of about 15% from all our products, Indelec products from Prevectron 3, T10, T25, S40, S50, and S60, and then the SPDs as well. So we are giving them a generous discount of 15% for attending this program, and we give them between now and end of October to be able to benefit from this generous offer that we have given. So we want to thank them for coming and use that to also say our big, show our appreciation. And we look forward to answering all the questions that they might have. We'll have our email addresses. They can send all their queries, their questions, and then we'll be able to answer them and get back to them as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. What we are doing is, please make sure, if you have any question, make sure you contact Aloysius and Richard. They will give you all of the information. We fully trust them on this. Richard just shared his mail address on the conversation. Take his mail address. You have info at discretetechnology.com. Please contact them if you have any question. For me, I'm sorry, I have to leave this meeting. If you still want to ask some question, Richard and Aloysius are still available. They can answer to you. Thank you very much for your time and for listening to my explanation. I hope I was clear my explanation. Okay. So thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, Ghana.
All right, thank you, Benjamin. And we also, on a closing note, we want to thank everybody that has attended. And like we said earlier, we are at number 9, Ogutono Crescent, Bagada, Lagos. And we have our reach in different parts of Nigeria and also in West Africa. And we are ready and readily available to partner with all the participants that have attended. And then in terms of collaborating in the, so we use the link to share other information that you may need at the end of the day. So thank you very much for attending, and we wish you a very pleasant day in your offices and your daily activities today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, and lastly, I would also like to address Mr. Uche Afo, that there are so many patients' questions we expected you to answer, being the manufacturer. The reliability and the sustainability of this solution is being questioned, and we need your response on it. I think.
Sorry, Richard, I just sent him a private message. We need to contact. We need to have a proper discussion with him, because I think his issue is very specific. So we need to give a tailor-made solution.
All right, no problem. Mr. Uche will contact you after this training personally to actually get to the bottom of your issue. And everyone, thanks for coming. And we are going to share the video links to everyone, both on YouTube and Facebook, so that you can rewatch, because I'm sure most of you may not be able to catch up with some of the information given to us. So you can rewatch over and over again. And if you need anything, either the slide or whatever, we are actually there to provide it to you. Thank you, everyone. God bless.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, and bye-bye.